Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite cookies for spring, a coconut macaroon dipped in chocolate. I love these cookies because they're super simple to put together and they take barely any ingredients. In fact, you may even have the ingredients sitting in your cabinet right now. Let me show you how to make them. First, going to create the base, which is just 14 ounces of sweetened coconut, going into a bowl here, and 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. Now, I like to use the sweetened condensed milk because I find that the cookies are a little bit chewier that way, but if you can't get sweetened condensed milk, if you're outside of the country and you don't have it, you could also use 4 egg whites and 2/3 cup of sugar. That's basically the recipe on the back of the coconut package. I also like the sweetened condensed milk because it's already sweetened and you don't need to add any more sugar. So it's one less thing to measure out and one less measuring cup to clean. And then to this, you're also going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is just going to give our macaroons a little bit more depth of flavor, and a big pinch of salt. There you go, just to boost all those flavors. Then you just want to stir this up, making sure that you are incorporating all of that sweetened condensed milk with the coconut. It is a bit of a sticky affair. But not to worry, we are going to lighten this batter with some egg whites in a minute. Now, there are recipes out there that I've seen, even some here on YouTube, that will just use this and bake the cookies off, which I guess you could do that. I have tried that and I felt that they were too sweet and a little bit too dense. So what I think the egg whites do is they lighten the cookie so that the cookie has like a little bit of a lift to it and they don't seem as filling. Now, if you were using all egg whites, you would need to add a little bit of flour to these. These make for a great gluten-free cookie, so sometimes people don't want to put the flour in, which I get. Or if you're serving them for Passover. So now I'm going to take my 2 egg whites and put them in the stand mixer here. I just find that's the easiest way to whip egg whites, but you can also use a hand mixer if that's all you have. And you just want to whip them up until they're nice and stiff and they can hold a peak. There, okay, so this is what they should look like. Something like that, nice and frothy, they hold a peak, they're good to go. Then you just want to take these egg whites a little bit at a time and put them in your bowl and lighten the mixture with them. So you have a very dense, sticky coconut mixture and these very light egg whites. So you just want to do it gently so you don't deflate your egg whites, but these are going to make for much lighter macaroons. So it's a step worth doing. Now, when it comes to sizing your macaroons, I really like to use the medium-size ice cream scoop. So a lot of times you can get these scoops as a set. Go with the medium one. I think it's the perfect combination of a generous cookie, but not too large. You also might want to try some small ones. This would be a good size if you were making a part of like a holiday cookie platter and you wanted to add some macaroons to it. I would probably do the small size. Another tip is make sure you line your baking tray with either a baking mat like this or a piece of parchment paper. Because these cookies, thanks to the sweetened condensed milk and the egg whites, are very sticky and it'll be very hard to take them off a baking tray if you don't have one of those things. You usually can get 9 on a tray. They don't spread out that much. I also like to keep the edges a little bit rustic like this because I think there's something fun about that when they turn golden brown. You could though go in with 2 spoons if you didn't like that look and kind of clean them up a little bit, but you know, who's got time for that? Another tip with these cookies is you do need to bake them at a lower temperature, so 325 as opposed to 350, which you're usually used to baking cookies at. I say that because if you bake them at 350, they will burn on the top. They'll get way too brown before they have a chance to set and cook on the inside. So you're gonna put these in the oven at 325 for just about 25 minutes. Okay, so our cookies are out of the oven and they have had a chance to cool. I highly recommend cooling these cookies because they'll stick more to your mat and they'll also become more fragile. And we want to be able to handle them so that we can dip them in the chocolate. Then you can melt semi-sweet chocolate chips in a microwave-safe bowl, about 30-second increments at a time, stirring it with a fork each time. And then we're going to take the bottom of our macaroon and just dip it in the chocolate. And then when you lift it up, you want to allow it to kind of drain a bit, and then you can put it on your parchment-lined baking sheet. Now, another thing that you could do is actually take your macaroon and dip half the side in the chocolate. If you really wanted to go for broke, that would be another fun thing to do. And then you would have half chocolate and half coconut. And then you can take your tray and place it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes just to allow that chocolate to set. And then when you break into these, you will see how delicious they are. They're soft and gooey on the inside and nice and crispy on the outside. And of course, that layer of chocolate is just such a winning combination. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. And I'll see you back here next time for another easy recipe. Until then, bye.